Hey guys, it's Psychosis here, and today I'm giving you another reaction type video. And today I'll be reacting to the article by Loudwire titled "The 25 Best Metalcore Albums of All Time." And I'm excited to see this one because I really like metalcore. I absolutely love metalcore; it's my favorite genre. But anyways, let's get into it. Intro paragraph, and see they have a thumbnail title here, and stupid pop-up. I hate these fucking pop-ups. Use my language. But absolutely hate it so much. Sorry, guys. Anyways, starting off with at number 25, we have Code Orange, and this is an awesome pick. This is my favorite Code Orange album. Code Orange aren't a band I was initially into, but they have grown on me. And this album's really good if you haven't heard it. It's not really a melodic album, but it's really good regardless. And a good spot for number 25. It is on the weaker side, in my opinion, in terms of stuff I like. But yeah, good spot for 25. And at 24, we have Under Oath's Define the Great Line. Now, I really like this album. I like Under Oath, but this album is not one I'm as big into as other people. If I were to make the list like this wouldn't even be on the list. It's a good album, but I just like other bands and other albums by Under Oath way better. And it's almost like a post-hardcore album at times. I don't know. I like post-hardcore, but it's just nowhere near metalcore in terms of quality, my opinion. And yeah, but good overall good pick for 24. And at 23, we have From Autumn to Ashes, Too Bad You're Beautiful. And this album is amazing. Same thing with this band. This whole band is amazing and underrated. It's sad that they're not as popular, and this album is probably their best one. It's just really good. And the song Short Stories of Tragic Endings, which the author mentions of this article, is an amazing song. It's like a masterpiece song. Like, if you don't even hear this album, just check that song out. It's just so good. Like, this band is amazing, and it's sad that they aren't around anymore or never really big compared to other bands. But yeah, really good pick for 23. And at 22, we have Parkway Drive's Horizons. Now, this is undoubtedly, for me, my favorite Parkway Drive album. Like, it's just such a heavy album. Like, the breakdowns are so heavy, but yet it's so melodic without a single clean on the entire album. It's just really good. And there's even solos as well on the album. And this album's fun because it gets, like, progressively better, like, as the songs go along. It's just like the album gets better. I don't know why, but it's just, that's the way it is. But it's just such a good album. Definitely listen to it if you haven't heard it. Another good pick at 22. And at 21, we have 18 Visions Until the Ink Runs Out. And this one is also really good. Not the one I'm super huge on. And it's like a bridge between melodic metalcore and 90s metallic hardcore metalcore, the early stuff. Like, it's a really aggressive album. But it's really good regardless. Not as big into it, like I said. The artwork's kind of goofy because you got like cursive lettering and this messy logo. But it's really good, and it's really funny what their sound turned into after this album. But yeah, really good, but not my thing fully. But good spot for 21. And at number 20, we have Devil Wears Prada, Dead Throne. Now, I also like Devil Wears Prada. I like Code Orange, though. They had to grow on me as a band, but I absolutely love their music to this day now. And same thing goes with this album. Like, the whole thing is great, mostly. Like, the clean singing's good, the production's good, tone's good, the riffage and music is good. But just the screams were never my thing. I always thought screams were weak compared to other bands, and that they were just not as good. And they haven't ever been as good as other bands. But overall, though, this album is really good. Not my favorite Devil Wears Prada album, but definitely check it out. And then next up, we have the best Norma Jean album, in my opinion. Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child. I absolutely love this album. Like I said, it's my favorite Norma Jean album. More on the chaotic side, but it's just really good. And the breakdowns hit so hard. And this hit song, Memphis Will Be Laid to Waste, is just, I love that song so much. I sing it to myself from time to time because the lyrics from it, because I just love that song. It's such a good song. And yeah, it's their best album. Definitely check them out if you haven't heard this band or this album. This is a good starting point for their discography, but their whole discography is amazing. And then next up we have Zow's Where Blood and Fire Bring Rest. Again, this is more in the same vein as the Norma Jean album, more on the chaotic side, more than old school 90s type metalcore sound. It's just really in your face, like the album artwork. You see he's got fire coming out of his face. Like, it's just really angry, really awesome album. I prefer the self-title that they made over this album, but it's really good. Not the biggest fan of this band overall compared to other bands, but a really good band. Kind of agree with the placement at 18. And at 17, we have an album I do not like, but Between the Buried and Me is the Silent Circus. And yeah, I don't like this album. I tried to listen to it, but it's just super chaotic. It's almost like a mathcore album with how chaotic it is. And I got bored of it really fast. Not my thing. If that's your thing, if you like chaotic stuff, you'll probably like it, but it wasn't for me. In 16, we have Hot Damn by Every Time I Die. Again, this is more in the same vein as the previous album on this at 17. The Silent Circus, but I'm not as huge on this album. It's not as chaotic, but it's more along those lines, and I'm just not into that very much. I tried, but if I don't like something, I don't like something, and that's what this album was. And these last two albums, not really into them. And then at number 15, we have Hatebreed Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. Now, I absolutely love this album. Funny jump and change, but I absolutely love this album. This one's way more hardcore than their later albums. This is their debut was, but it's just such a punch, and there's such power in the music and the lyrics. Like in one of the songs, he goes, "I will not be a victim," and it's just, it goes so hard. But yeah, this album is like a boost. Like if you just need like a musical adrenaline shot, this is the album. It's so good. It'll get you on your feet. It's just amazing. And then next up, and I agree with this being more in the middle ground, but we have Avenged Sevenfold's Waking the Fallen. Now, I really like this album. I really like Avenged Sevenfold's metalcore sound. And since I'm biased, it's probably my favorite of their sound overall, since I love metalcore so much. And this is probably their best metal album then, in that mindset. And it's just really good. It could show that they could go above and beyond. Like M Shadow's vocal dynamics here were really good, and the music definitely was above a lot of many other bands in the genre. But yeah, was a really good album, but not my favorite. And I agree with it being more in the middle ground, which they offered put here at 14. And at number 13, we have Snapcase's Progression Through Unlearning. Now, I haven't heard this album in like years, but from what I remember, it was like almost just a straight up hardcore album, but I didn't really like it very much. It just wasn't my thing. I tried. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't captivate me or keep my attention. So I don't know why it's so high, but to each their own. And here we are at the first disagreement I have with this article, but we're at number 12, we have Killswitch Engages and a Heartache. Now, I highly disagree with this placement because I absolutely love this album. It's definitely among Killswitch's better albums, or best, and it's just such an amazing album. I can't describe it, or not. I don't even have the time to describe how amazing it is. This is a top 5 album. It's just so good, from the singing to the tone to the riffs and breakdowns and everything else. It's just so good. But yeah, it shouldn't be at number 12. It should be in like top 5. And at number 11, we have a similar themed album with heart artwork. Shai Hulud's Hearts Once Nourished with Hope and Compassion. Now, this one's underrated. You never see people talk about this album. And it is good. It's like an early melodic metalcore album, or with more chaotic aggression to it, but it is good, but not as one I'm big into. But yeah, it is underrated though, so if you haven't heard it, go check it out. But it is on the weaker side of these albums on this list, in my opinion. And at number 10, we have Azalea Dying's Frail Words Collapse. Now, I love this album. You know me, I love Azalea Dying, and I love this album. It's grown on me over the years. I used to avoid it, but That's because it's really rough around the edges, but it is better than their debut, which will be forgotten and unnamed. But I absolutely love this album. It's really rough around the edges, and they did improve with time, but it's still an amazing album. Go check it out. And then at number 9, we have Cave In Until Your Heart Stops. And this one I'm not as big into. Like some of those earlier albums, it's more on the chaotic side, and I'm just not into that. And I tried to listen to this one. I do like it, has some cool stuff in it, but it's not an album I go out of my way to hear. And at number 8, we have the metalcore album of metalcore albums, Integrity, Those Who Fear Tomorrow. Now, Integrity basically helped make this genre. See, 1991 it came out. And like, this is an early metalcore album. It's absolutely amazing. If you heard it, it's honestly, you'll be like, wait, this sounds more like Metallica or Slayer. But it's just really good and awesome. Like, sick riffs, and it's just good and different. And the title track has like one of my top riff. That's the riff to the Those Who Fear Tomorrow is like top 10 riff for me. I don't know what I was saying there, but it's just an amazing riff to play. It's really easy to play, but it just gets my head bobbing. Just such an awesome album. And at number 7, we have Earth Crisis, Destroy the Machines. Now, I'm not really big on this one, but this one is huge for the genre, like that Integrity album. But I've never really gone on my way to hear this album or really tried to listen to it. I don't think I'd like it. I'm not really into the early metallic hardcore metalcore sound as much as obviously the melodic metalcore, but I do have to admit this album is very fundamental for metalcore. At number 6, we have Bring the Horizon Step Eternal, and the offer goofed up the year. He said it was released in 2003, but not 2013. It released in 2013. But anyways, this album is great. Like Bring the Horizon, this was their breakthrough album. I remember they were huge around the time this album came out. It was everywhere. And it is a good album, not as one I'm big into. I never really got into Bring the Horizon, but this album is definitely better than the albums that came after it. And it is a very fun album. But if you don't really like poppy stuff, you're probably gonna crucify this album, or people who like it, because it has a lot of like non-metalcore metal stuff into it, but it's fun. And then at number 5, we have Botch, We Are the Romans. And to settle the debate, yes, Botch are better than Converge. I don't care that I said that. I'm honest about that opinion. I'm not as big into Converge. I like some of their stuff, but I think they're overrated. And Botch are an amazing band. This album is super chaotic. This is a chaotic album I like, but this is like a mathcore album almost. I don't know why this is here, but clearly the author really likes that chaotic stuff. He's put a lot of chaotic albums on this list. And yeah, but it is a good album. I wouldn't put it so high, but it's nice seeing that it did actually make a list. And then at number 4, we have Alive or Just Breathing by Killswitch Engage. And now I'm kind of another retype thing. I'm at least happy it made top 5, but this is my favorite album of all time. So seeing it only at a number 4 spot is just like, But to each their own. Just on my end, I'd put it at number 1. I absolutely love this album. I don't have the time to go over how much I love it, but yeah, I just really love this album. It's so good. Like a masterpiece. And then at number 3, we have Dillinger Escape Plan's Calculated Infinity. And this one is just a straight up mathcore album. And their debut. I don't know why it's here. It's a mathcore album. And I just prefer their more accessible later stuff, like the Ironworks, One of Us Is the Killer, their last album, those types of albums. But it has good bits, but it's just a mathcore album. I don't know why it's here. And then at number 2, we have Poison the Well, Opposite December. Another very fundamental album to the genre. I also like this album. And the songs Poison, Nerdy, and Slice Paper Wrists are fantastic. And then finally at number 1, we have an overrated pick by Jane Doe, Converge. And that whole album, and the song Concubine, for example, is just like, and that's just all it is, from what I've heard. I just think this album's super overrated and their later stuff's better. And yeah, that's my thoughts on this article. This article is really good. actually, and a rare W from Loudwire. I hope you all guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.